Well, I went over to Home Depot and I grabbed the insulation I'll be using. It is this R5. It's the pink like foam board, the Pink Panther, 1 inch thick. Hope you can see that in the frame okay. This is what I got. It was like 24 bucks a sheet, so it's not too expensive, but it was more than I wanted to spend. So now I got to take all the walls off, which means all the trim pieces that I left on initially, I will need to remove those. So like along the walls here and along the floor. I'll take those out, take the walls off. I've got my table saw set up and I'll start making these cuts and just inserting the foam. I thought about, I've seen some videos where guys like take caulk or silicone and they seal between the aluminum and all of the like framing members of the trailer. And I thought about doing that, but I don't think I'm going to. I think that's a little overkill. I think I'll just stick with the insulation. I will tape all the joints just, you know, to help it a little bit, but I think that's as far as I'm gonna go. We'll see, I might change my mind on that once I get these walls off, because I really want this done right the first time, and now I feel myself kind of honestly going back and forth on that same thought again. So I don't know, we'll see. But either way, you'll be along for the ride. So let's start taking these walls off. No time like the present, let's get going. Well, I got all the trim pieces out, and there was a bunch of staples that got left behind, so I went through with a pair of pliers, and I pulled out as many as I could see, but you always find more afterwards. So anyway, I'm sure I didn't get it 100%, but now it's time to actually start taking these panels out, which is pretty exciting. Oh, wow. That is some flimsy. Are you kidding me? Wow, that's nothing. These sheets does keep the weight down. So I guess I like it for that reason. Okay, I was not aware these OSB sheets are as thin as the trim. I mean, that's not even, I mean, it's like 1/4 inch. God, maybe even less. It's 1/4 inch. I mean, wow. Very flimsy, but I get why they do it. I'm sure it's cheap for cost, but also keeps the weight of the trailer lower. So I normally would upgrade this if this were like a standing structure, but because it's a trailer, I'll probably stick with this just because it's so light. All right, I'm keeping all my screws. They're self-tapping metal screws, but I will most likely upgrade these to a thicker screw, because I'm guessing when I put these back in, they'll kind of strip out a little bit, like the same screw going in and out of the same hole. So I'm gonna use, yeah, just bigger screws. Something to think about for your project. I told myself I wasn't gonna silicone or caulk all these joints, and I think I'm going to. Gosh dang it. I just want to make sure water's not getting in. I want this trailer to last a long time, and I want to be able to use it in pretty harsh conditions without worrying about it. So it's just another step. It's not that big of a deal. Just get over it. Let's do it. A big reason I'm doing this trailer is obviously I'm just trying to get organized. Also the convenience of being able to just bring all my materials with me to every job. But I mean, look at this. This is totally unorganized. This is just supposed to be a crate for only silicone. And I put a bunch of other junk in here, and it's just, I don't like this level of unorganization. So the trailer is gonna solve these problems for me. But the whole reason I got this out is because the silicone is in here. The silicone I'm using is Rainbuster. I do a lot of roofing with my solar company, and it's called Rainbuster 975. They have it in different colors. This one's the black one, but they have clear. I think they have white and brown and green. Anyway, it literally has a 100-year warranty if you read on the back of it. And the thing I like so much about this is it's like liquid rubber. You apply it, and when it dries, it still is like it retains its elasticity, and it'll stretch and contract with the material that you put it on. So like on a roof, for instance, that's very valuable to me. Anything that hardens and gets like, it just gets hard. When the expansion and contraction happens, it will crack and then water gets in there. So anything that gets, that hardens, I don't want that in the trailer, because you can imagine with the sun and the rain and the winter and the wind and all the conditions that this trailer will be exposed to, I need something that will expand and contract quite a bit, because it's, aluminum metal and steel. So this is my choice. You can only get this, as far as I know, at Roofers Supply. I live here in Utah, so they're a local company, and that's who I recommend. Hey peacocks, how you doing? Hey little peacocks. So I'm just hitting these seams in between the siding and the framing members. Just to make sure it's as waterproof as it can be. Now, it won't be perfect, but it'll be better than what I started with, so I think this is worth it. And then I'm just taking my finger and smoothing over, just kind of fat fingering it. Make sure it fills in that joint as much as possible. Kind of press it in there. Make sure to cut a small opening on this so your bead isn't too big. Otherwise you'll go through way too much silicone and it'll be really expensive. I did a very small bead opening and it's actually going in pretty clean. Little trick to keep your silicone from being unusable if you don't use the whole bottle. Take a screw or a nail. I usually use a nail, but I didn't have one handy, so just put something in the tip. The next time you want to use it, just pull it out and it pulls the plug with it, and it's good to go. Let's take off the rest of these boards. I'm gonna show you guys a minor problem, easy to fix. But down here, there are these voids. If I get the camera in there, this goes down quite a ways. If you can see, it's like more than the length of my hand. My fingers can't reach the bottom. And that's here and here. It's not where the wheel wells are, obviously, but it is down on this side and all around here. So I am gonna, and go on. I tried to silicone some of these openings. Oh, there you go. There's a good example. I can see daylight if you look closely. Right there. I see a little sliver of daylight. So I'm just gonna use a closed cell foam all around that periphery. The closed cell foam I'm gonna be using is this great stuff. It's just at Home Depot. Obviously, I don't have a sponsorship or anything from them. I don't have any sponsorships from anybody yet. But if you're a potential sponsor and you'd like to sponsor my videos, I'm definitely open to talk. Anyway, the great stuff, any foam you get that's in a can will be closed cell foam, meaning water can't penetrate it. It'll still penetrate a little bit, but open cell foam is more like a sponge, and closed cell foam is closed cells, so the water can't get through it. So this is what I'll be using down in all those cracks. I don't know how easy it's going to be to put this in and film at the same time, but we'll give it a go. Make sure to wear PPE. This stuff's pretty nasty. You don't want it getting on you. I originally said that you should use the great stuff in the red can. And then I found this when I went back to Home Depot. I didn't have enough. And this is for big gaps up to 3 inches. The other one is only for gaps up to 1 inch. So I don't think I was actually technically supposed to use that one. I mean, it worked, but I guess this is the better stuff. So just FYI, don't make my mistake. So I'll give you a walk around. You can see all those gaps that I filled by the door. Oh. Yeah, those ones. And then we got, sorry for the contrast. And I stuck it behind these boards. There's quite a bit of empty space in there and I could see daylight coming through. So I stuck it behind the boards and squirted quite a bit behind those support boards. And then you can see all this. And sorry for the contrast. Like right here, I filled it too much, so I'll have to cut that in order to get my pink foam insulation in there like flush. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Just use a drywall knife, but still, it's annoying. I wish I hadn't done that. So on the other ones, I estimated it pretty good. And I shouldn't have to cut the majority of these, but these first ones I did, I'll have to cut. It is what it is. I thought I'd give you the zoomed out view. I've got my table saw set up now. I just need to clean it off. So I already know the question I'm gonna get. Was it worth it to do the silicone on all of the joints? And to answer that question, I don't know. It didn't take that long. It was about a half a day of work. It would have been a lot faster than that, except I didn't have enough silicone, so I had to go back and forth from the store, and that added some time. But to be honest, I'm glad I did it because I'm putting so much effort into this trailer, and I just want to make sure I don't leave any stone unturned. Is there more that I could do? Yeah, probably, but for my level of detail in my mind that's appropriate, I'm gonna do all of that. And I think when I'm using a trailer, especially in bad conditions, you know, heavy rain or slushy conditions, which I'll get a lot on job sites, I think that'll just give me a little bit more reassurance that like, hey, my trailer's solid, it's not gonna leak water, everything's good, and it should prolong the life of the trailer, I hope. Will that actually happen? I have no idea, but I hope that it does. I hope that what I've done has helped, and I think in retrospect, I won't begrudge the half day that I spent, you know, putting silicone on all the joints. I think it was worth it in the end. So there's my 2 cents. I want to be clear though, I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do it. This is just what I wanted to do, and I'd seen some videos where guys had done it, and I've seen some videos where guys have not done it, and I've seen both groups defend their position, and I don't really have any skin in that game. I'm just trying to make it the very best that I can. Maybe it was overkill, maybe it didn't help at all, or maybe it helped significantly and I'll avoid water leaking and rust and other problems. It's hard to say. So whatever you decide to do with your trailer, don't let anybody give you flack about it. It's just go with what feels right to you and your personal level of detail that you want to put into it. I think that's what you should do. Well, I'm very excited to say that I'm officially ready to start putting in my pink foam insulation, my R5. And I can't do it in the most organized way. So you might see in the video, I'll do it a little out of order, and that's because of the spray-in foam, the closed cell foam that I sprayed in some of those gaps has come up a little higher. And so I'm gonna have to let that harden, and then I'm gonna have to cut it before I can fit in the correct size piece of insulation. So I will just start with the bays where it's below ground level and that it'll fit in there okay. Okay, well, you guys don't need to see me make every single cut of insulation, so I think you've got the idea on the time lapse, and at this point, this is just taking a long time, so I'm just gonna get this done the easy way. So as you can see, I've got the insulation up on the walls and the ceiling, and I used a tape that you actually use in roofing to tape all of the seams so that I don't get any airflow from in between the insulation and the framing members. So that's all taped now with this industrial strength tape. The ceiling, I had more room. The framing members on the ceiling are wider. So on the ceiling I was able to put R 7.5, it's that same brand, that Pink Panther foam, but it is a 7.5 R value rather than a 5 R value like the walls. And that's good because the top of the trailer obviously will get more direct sunlight, and so having a little bit of extra insulation up there is useful.